Addressing misinformation I made in my last video of the character retrospective series, the duo that appear at the start of MC 5.5 couldn't possibly be Sanford or Deimos, due to them being the one who tracking the two of them in the monitor that we see in the start of the MC 5.5, and the timeline and character design inconsistency with both of them being smoker, even though Sanford prevented Deimos to smoke in the same episode. So, sorry about that misinformation. Also, don't forget to check out my community post in case you want to vote for the next character who will get character retrospective or teaser or whatever I want to post in there that might or may not be important to the channel. Mostly important, but you can check it out if you don't want to miss any important news that might occur there. And if you like this video, consider putting an interaction. It's free, it's only take a few seconds, a few minutes, and also join my membership if you want to really support me that much. Anyways, enjoy the character retrospective. 2BDamned, also known as Doc, is a supporting character and a primary ally for the main trio of Madness Combat. He's also the leader of Status Quo, the organization the trio works under. So, if you want to know more about him, then we need to go back to the beginning of his story. At some point in time, 2BDamned would join the AAHW, an organization formed by the Auditor to eliminate anyone who poses a threat. And this is also presumably when he gained his contact with Christoph, due to the AAHW working closely with the Project Nexus. It seems that the two might have crossed paths once or twice, as the title suggests, which is Dissenter, meaning someone who disagrees with established opinions, policy, or doctrines, often formally separating from a dominant church or opposing a government, party, or belief system, in this case the AAHW. 2BDamned would eventually, possibly, betrayed and left the organization, and later settles back into Hank's old living space. Later in time, the AAHW would appear in front of 2BDamned's living space, either to directly track him down or just trying to ambush Hank, which seemed to be either of the cases, due to 2BDamned's later line of "damn agency breaking my stuff." Hank doesn't even leave here, though 2BDamned with nowhere out at the front, he would eventually hack the missioner of a nearby soldat, fooling them into going through the door that has been rigged with explosives, killing all the three members in front of the door and giving him time to run out the door in the basement and outflank them. He would take care of the one remaining engineer, before turning his focus to the missioner's soldat, shooting him directly through the binoculars and blowing his brains out. And, as shown in Madness Project Nexus 2, The Last Leg, 2BDamned has seemed to be dealing with these events a lot of times, with the corpse of the member piling up beside his house. Though 2BDamned still continues to live here, presumably because he has nowhere else to go, and due to being Hank's old house, the way it built seemed to be tactically efficient for him to live there, instead of elsewhere. In Dissenter, we would also been shown how 2BDamned fight, with him being more tactical than the trio and utilizing his mind and gadgets to put him in an advantageous spot in the fight, before cleaning up the remaining enemies. It also shows that, though he doesn't have a lot of fights, he is still very good with aims, as shown with his grenade throw, and shooting the soldat precisely through the binoculars. So it seems he would rather not fight on his own, as shown in some point in time, presumably before Dissenter and after defecting from the AAHW, he would form Status Quo, where he would later go on to recruit Hank, Sanford, and Deimos, as well as some other Nevadians, as shown in the arena mode of Project Nexus, and some episode in the main series. So the duo would later be captured by the AAHW, prompting him to assign Hank to help break them out, so the three of them, including Christoph, can go on a mission to destroy Project Nexus. After calling Hank and briefing him on his mission to break the duo out, he would also later call Christoph so he can recruit him on his mission. Christoph would appear, The Savior would be shocked upon seeing Hanks there. 2BDamned would call for Jeb to ignore Hanks' appearance in this meeting, due to the mission being more important, so it would cause Jeb to be skeptical of 2BDamned's true intentions for the remainders of their meetings. It also seems that the two seems to have some amount of respect for each other, with Jeb referring to 2BDamned as Doc, and 2BDamned referring to Jeb as Dr. Christoph. 2BDamned would later say that though Christoph thought he had destroyed the projects 15 years ago, by killing Phobos and stealing the Keystone fragments, the projects are still very much alive, and still siphoning the dissonance energy from the other place. But even with 2BDamned's intel and confidence, Jeb is still refusing to believe that the projects are still active, and calling for 2BDamned to stay out of Nexus City, the place where the project is operating at, saying it's forbidden for him, with him saying that he knows 2BDamned's true intentions of destroying Project Nexus, which is not to save Nevada, but to advance his experiment of death and rebirth regarding the other place, suggesting that the revival stuff we've seen in the series are a long-spanning project by 2BDamned, which might also span from when he is still working for the AHW, explaining why Christoph immediately jumped to this conclusion. And with the remnants of Project Assault, it would assist 2BDamned greatly in his own project, and that is why he decided now he would destroy the Project Nexus. 2BDamned would retort it back, saying that Jeb doesn't seem to have a problem when 2BDamned has to stitch his corpse back together, either referring to his death in MC3, but it could be a sign to the Halo, due to it being shown to keep Jeb alive without half his head and being able to stitch it back as seen in MC 6.5, or his death in MC4 due to the scattered remnants of your own corpse line by 2BDamned. He also seems to be responsible for Hank's revival in MC2, 3, 4, and 5, so Jeb would end up declining 2BDamned, saying that he will not be the one to save Nevada from the perils that await it, threatening to kill him if he ever stepped foot in Nexus City, and also telling Hank that the only time he would ever team up with him is when the situation seems so dire that the world isn't worth saving no longer. Before Jeb left the meeting, with Hank questioning if this meeting would go somewhere, with Jeb rejecting the recruitment, 2BDamned would choose to put it on a shelf for now, and discuss further details on Hank's mission, with Hanks also requesting the rocket launcher for breaking into where the duo is held. Even with Jeb's rejection to join, 2BDamned will still assign Hank to go and convince Christoph to tell them where Hofnar is hiding, so they can get the location of where the Divergence engine is and destroy it, which end up successful, with Christoph being convinced that they are doing this to actually eliminate Project Nexus for good, and eventually leading Hank to Hofnar. This mission would end up successful, with them being able to shut down the project, but not without Hank betraying the other three and ended up getting killed by Sanford and Deimos, which 2BDamned would presume to be very angry about later, as suggested by Sanford's dialogue to Deimos. But at least the mission is finished, and Nevada is in doom for now. 2BDamned would return at the start of the episode, trying to hack into the improbability drive backup to restore Hank's memory, before being interrupted by a message, presumably the Auditor, saying that his interest will be terminated, and Hank will be retained. This seems to show that 2BDamned has much expertise in doing this, that he just knows where to locate Hank in the other place using his resources. So it seems that no matter how good he is, there's still limits to his capabilities, with his hacking being interrupted by the messages. He would later lost his tracking on Hank after Antipathy Hank was defeated by Tricky. He would proceed to insert a device on a Soldat corpse, presumably to prolong his tracker access to the other place, and activated a command coinflips.exe in type of .00 of Hank, which would find a divergence energy of Hank and later also find the antipathy, a presumably suitable Hank. This whole sequence gave us a glimpse into how prepared 2BDamned are with his device and his knowledge, with him knowing how to fix the tracker problem really quick and know how to operate this device for it to find and track a suitable Hank. After this, Hank would eventually be recovered by the crustacean's arm, which bring the antipathy cells into the Mac chamber and injected into Hank's corpse on Nevada, with 2BDamned ending the episode by saying, "I'll keep bringing bringing them back, showing a trait shared by all the main status quo members of determination in doing something they believe in or passionate in, which in 2BDamned case seems to be creating an invincible organization by utilizing the selves and the other place as a source for resurrection. 2BDamned would later make a reappearance in Deadmau5's adventure, appearing in Deadmau5 Rebuild.Flare. At first, he would only appear through Deimos M-5.1, telling Deimos that this is going to hurt, before compensating Deimos' missing parts with rocks, giving Deimos new powers. Later, an associate of 2BDamned, fellow D9, who are also presumably a members of Status Quo, would track down Deimos and attaches a device to him, causing Deimos to faint. After that, 2BDamned would receive a message from D9 to anchor Deimos at his sector. If we look at 2BDamned ComBasic.9 beta here, we will see that there seems to be other fellow Ds in association with 2BDamned, which seems like these grunts were sent by 2BDamned in a mission to anchor Deimos back to life in Nevada, which could also suggest that the two grunts appearing at the start of Chase Flare are the other fellow Ds that came in to track down Deimos, with them also sharing the same camera equipment as fellow D9. Unfortunately, fellow D9 would accidentally be turned into an enemy by Deimos and got killed soon after. After that, 2BDamned would attempt to anchor Deimos several times using a chain, which can be distinguished from the other chain in the other place, with the anchor chain not having a sharp head. So, Deimos would dodge all those chains. Eventually, 2BDamned would anchor Deimos by hitting him with a button device. After successfully anchoring Deimos, 2BDamned would bring him back to Nevada before hitting him with a syringe. But not long after, 4 magnified AAHW members would crawl out of the walls. With the two facing the 4 enlarged opponents, 2BDamned would dryly complain, "God damn it, Deimos." This episode brings us even more into how smart 2BDamned really is, with him handling all the technologies of reviving and interacting with the other place that is in Hank's one, which are especially guarded, with ease, showing how long he has been experimenting with this project. It also shows more of 2BDamned's status quo members outside of the main trio, with the addition of fellow D9 and some other, possibly unseen, fellow Ds. And this episode also showcases more into how 2BDamned bring people back to life, with him using the corpse left on Nevada and hooking them into some kind of machine, and using the help of the other status quo members, sectors, 2BDamned will anchor the cells of the deceased inside the other place to bring them back to Nevada. So Deimos seems to be one of the unique cases. With him being heavily damaged in the other place, Deimos would be compensated in the injured parts with rocks, and his other place cells would also return as a separate bodies from his corpse, unlike Hank and Sanford. After dealing with the enlarged AAHW members, 2BDamned would send Deimos on a mission to return Sanford back to Nevada. We will see 2BDamned dropping some device into a crater, possibly leading to the other place, before returning back to his tracker, tracking Hank's dissonant energy. 2BDamned would send a message to Deimos, saying he has uploaded the recovery protocol to Deimos' tablet, and warned Deimos that the auditors certainly anticipated their move, and they should be careful, showing that, though with how smart he is, he doesn't underestimate his opponent, if he knows what they're capable of. He also said that Hank's gone, presumably by seeing how long Hank's dissonant energy has been tracked on his highly capable tracker, acknowledging that he doesn't seem to know where Hank is. Judging by how easily he could track Hank in MC 9.5, this seems to be troubling for the status quo. He would later warn Deimos to not die, taking a jab at Deimos not being careful, which got him killed in the first place, while also sending him probability matrices for Deimos to see on Hank's possible whereabouts, showing 2BDamned trust in Deimos' intelligence to might be able to help look into this. Later in the other place, Sanford would be successfully anchored before getting hit with the button in the same fashion as Deimos, which might suggest that 2BDamned changed his approach at anchoring them, after Deimos keep dodging the anchor chain in during Deadmos' adventure. Deimos would later receive a text from 2BDamned saying he has given Sanford some time, but Deimos has to do this now, possibly saying that every time one of the trio ended up in the other place, 2BDamned would give them some time to presumably refreshes himself and practices their skills once more, before being revived. 2BDamned would also warn that the Auditor is possibly on the move right now, which is correct, with the Auditor tracking down Sanford in the other place, showing how much he might have familiarized himself with the Auditor during his time with the AAHW. We would later see an infographic about Deimos being compensated after reviving with his rock form, Sanford surviving the other place before being revived, and Hank's unknown whereabouts, before Ares swept the screen, and a video saying that their current lines are merging, suggesting that 2BDamned meddling with the other place is causing the two worlds to merge and possibly dooming Nevada to a grim fate. 2BDamned is a unique character in the Madness Combat series. He has a very few appearances compared to the other main characters, but still having a very impactful contribution to the story, being the one giving the trio missions and assignments, and the one responsible for almost all the revival in the series. He served as the true brain and mastermind of the operation, serving as the guy who works from afar with technologies and expertise in working with the other place. He is also very capable, physically, as shown in Dissenter and how he used to work with the AAHW, an organization that even the engineers are required to fight. So there are still some mysteries surrounding him before the story, such as his past with the AAHW and how much he knows. One thing for sure though, 2BDamned is one of the only few to use the world of Madness Combat to his advantage. Hello guys, and thank you for watching another character retrospective video. Sorry if this one's a little bit short. I try to, find the most information I can get for 2BDamned to actually analyze him and make it at least as long as possible. But due to his infrequent appearance and, not much information being revealed about him just yet, at least to, as my research has been telling me, is pretty short. Probably the shortest one in the character retrospective series, and probably gonna be the shortest one for a really while. But yeah, still, hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed this very much, you can like and subscribe, or just doing anything to boost this video to the algorithm page if you really enjoyed this video. And if you really want to support me, you can join my membership, as I said. This really means a lot, and it just, keep me going on making these video for you to watch. But yeah, the character poll is gonna be shortly up after this video releases. And don't forget that, member got 2 to 3 day early access to this video, so you can watch it first and give me criticism before it even releases. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and see you later in the next character retrospective. Don't forget to vote the poll, and, probably see you later on one of the 1 to 2 filler video while I take a break from character retrospective for a little bit. See y'all later. Have a great day.